Good morning, everyone. It's Kelly from P1 Web Development and also Hornet Nation Racing. I do own both. Um, Here with my cup of coffee. Fusion Workplaces of Allentown. Awesome place to have your office. Although, if you hear a lot of noise and stuff, they're doing work up on the second floor, so I apologize for that. Sort of. I guess I apologize. I don't know. It is what it is. They're doing work upstairs, and I'm cool with it. I don't get hung up on stuff. Anyway, Uh, today is a pretty big day for me as I am running my first local networking meeting. Now, lately I've been writing on LinkedIn and Facebook some little short articles about how race teams can use local networking to gain partners and sponsors for the race team. Kind of a new idea, I guess, although that's how I got almost all of mine. So, whether it's a new idea or not, I'm not sure. It's an idea that worked for me and my son, who I drugged to some pretty big networking meetings and got him to stop being afraid of talking to people. Yeah, that's a. I got a whole story to tell you today about that. So, I want to give a shout out to our first partner who signed on. It is Shelly Mey from Dreamcatcher Career Coaching. She was the first one that I talked to or met at a local networking group here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, we're about an hour or so outside of Philly. And met her, and we talked about a bunch of different things together. About the website, about my website business with P1 and the whole 9 yards, and as I was trying to find new clients. Over along the ways, we became friends. So then, when word started getting out, I started talking about a little bit here and there about the race team I'm starting and different things, and so we had a very big, very large, like 450 people kind of large networking event here in Allentown that I drug my son to. I didn't drug him, I just dragged him to the meeting to get him to meet people and start talking to potential sponsors and the likes. Well, one of the first people who walked up and said, "Oh, you must be Brady," was Shelly. And boy, did that make his day, that she was excited to meet him. And like, I heard all about your racing and this, that, and the other. And boy, did it put a smile on my kid's face. That night, we met so many different people. Most people I already knew, but they hadn't gotten a chance to ever meet Brady. And so we started to build relationships for the race team that night. Fast forward to about 3-4 months ago, and I approached Shelly about having and being one of our sponsors on our lowest tiers because, she's a solopreneur who works on her own. So I knew she didn't have a ton of funding to just give us for the hell of it. So I made a tier that is where people can be added to just Brady's suit for an inexpensive option to at least be part of the race team and be part of Brady's story. And so she jumped on and became our first paying partner for the race team. So while I had others lined up, ready to go, especially Garrett from Wealth Education Company, Shelly was the first one to actually give us money. It was the seed that started everything in January, February timeframe of us getting almost all the funding we needed together so we could race this year. We say almost. We still could use one or two more partners just because. we could use them. But the purpose of my telling this story is so that you understand that building relationships matters. As you build relationships in the local networking space, people start to recognize you. People will be curious about what you do, especially if you're a race driver. Because I can tell you that every time I would talk to them about P1 and be like, yeah, I should get a website done. But what's this racing thing you're doing? And then they would meet Brady and ask questions about his driving and what it's like to race a go-kart at 40, 45, 50 miles an hour. And the questions and the stories that Brady was able to tell really garnered a lot of conversation with and built relationships. Relationships we were able to then bring into the Hornet Nation Racing family of partners and companies that have all kind of worked together, and now we're racing because of these people. I would not be able to be affording even purchasing the go-kart or anything without the help of these people that we met at the local networking groups. Now, how do you find local networking groups? I found all the ones I go to on Meetup. So it's meetup.com. That's a good place for all these networking groups. Another paid site is Alignable. I know that there's a bunch of networking groups that are on Alignable. I lucked out in our area. It's such an active thing that there's actually a website called NetworkLehighValley.com that has all of the groups, of the networking groups in our area that are doing events and everything, and it has a whole calendar. Seth Rubin does an amazing job with that. So I would start on Meetup. There, usually you can find free networking groups. I helped one client locate ones near Charlotte, North Carolina area. And look, you just go. You don't say, hey, I'm here, I'm so-and-so from ABC Racing Team, and I'm looking for sponsors. No, your 30-second pitch is more like, I'm so-and-so, I'm here representing our race team, we are a business, and while we are looking for partners, we are also just here to network and talk to people and build relationships with people. Because you never know how one conversation turns into another conversation, which turns into another conversation, and then it turns into a sponsor. I can't stress it enough that you never know the chain of events that will happen. In fact, I just wrote about one where it took like 5 different steps before that person became an associate sponsorship partner of ours with the Carl Vulkman and Carl Vulkman Sons HVAC. It took a while. I mean, that was something that took months to build. Even the relationship with Shelly, as much as her and I are friends now, that took almost a year to build that rapport and that trust with her. Now, I originally have an in with P1 Web Development where I can build websites for stuff. You can have an in with what your company, whomever you work for. You can go to these network events. But seriously, I would treat your race team as if you're a business and walk into that room because you belong in that room and you belong as a business owner of a race team. So that's my story for today. Shelly is amazing. Please go to DreamcatcherCareerCoaching.com. Check her stuff out. I'm going to tag her in the links in the comment section down below and different things today, so that way you guys can at least get to meet Shelly. You know what? It's going to sound crazy. Just DM her. DM her on LinkedIn and tell her that I sent you. say, this really goofy guy I saw on LinkedIn said I should reach out to you just to say hi. I'm telling you, that would be fun. I would love to see her get 5 or 10 or even just one of you. I'd love 100 of you, but I'll take just one. I'm not picky. So anyway, that's my story for today. And again, I apologize for all the construction noises. It's all upstairs, but just to give you that this is authentic. No takes. Just one take. Done. All right. I will see you tomorrow morning, and I will let you know how my first hosting of a local networking meeting goes with Tim Unger of Mint Digital Marketing. We'll talk more about his presentation tomorrow. All right. See ya.